Okay, ready to go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Canyon Dems meeting. As you know, we are both on Zoom and YouTube. Tonight, the YouTube will end when our speaker begins. So if you're on YouTube, then you'll have to leave YouTube and join the meeting. So that's just a little glitch about tonight. Thank you very much for understanding. And now it's not letting me control it. Dang it. There we go. Okay, so first thing we do is say the Pledge of Allegiance. And as you all know, it sounds really bizarre if we all say it at the same time. So I will just say it for us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're using a Zoom format, so if you don't want people to see you, you can click on your video at the bottom of the page, and it will turn off the video so we can't see you. And if you have questions for our speaker or issues around the club that you need to ask about, please do that in the chat, and you can see that where the white arrow is. And tonight we have some good news. We've all been waiting on tender hooks to hear what would happen in Minneapolis, and we're thrilled. I'm sure all of us are that Derek Chauvin was found guilty of all 3 charges and will be spending a bit of time in jail. And I love this quote from Swing Left, which said, "We all have shared responsibility to build a system of public safety that protects everyone equally. We must work to end racist practices in policing and police violence, especially in Black and brown communities that have suffered the most under the system." So this is a beginning and not an end, and I know all of us will join in that work. So thank you very much. We are really lucky that it turned out this way. This is our agenda for tonight. It's a little different than our agenda normally is because we've stacked all of our presentation of our club information at the beginning. So we're going to have our speaker come in at about 7:45, and she will have the remainder of the time. So you can see we have a number of items checked in little boxes here. Those are our items that are on the consent list. And in just a minute, we'll take a vote on those. So the way we run the club is we get that all out of the way at once, including our vote to adjourn. And that way we don't have to come back and hold a lot of other votes, which is much easier for our tech guru, Rachel Lowe. She only has to do 1 poll. Okay, so moving on. I have some big news, and the big news is that if everything goes well and the pandemic keeps going the way it is, this is our last Zoom meeting. And we're going to go back to the Murray Center on May 18th. They've invited us back. We don't have, they do have protocols though, so we have to be very careful. They're going to let us meet in the really big room so we can socially distance and not be sitting shoulder to shoulder. And everybody has to wear a mask. And of course, we want to encourage everybody to be vaccinated prior to the meeting and to reach your maximum immunity. And I believe that's 2 to 3 months after your last vaccine. So if you can get that done, we would really appreciate it. At least get the first one. Everybody is eligible now, and you know, Republicans have decided they're not going to use those vaccine appointments, so there are plenty of vaccine appointments. Go take them. And I'm very excited about all of this. But if things turn around, if it's not looking good, we will go back to Zoom. And since you are going to have to wear a mask, please go to the Canyon Dems shop, which is on our website, and buy another mask. And you can wear it to the meeting at the Murray Center. I'm just going to quickly introduce the treasurer's report for this month. You can see our current balance is looking very healthy because of our memberships that have come in and our sustaining donors. Also, we got a return of $785 from the Murray Center, but of course they're going to want that back now that we're going there. So I don't, they a month, but that's what life is. This report is part of the consent items. So next, Rachel, unless a member wants to take something off of the consent list to have it discussed, please, if you want to do that, put it in the chat now. And Rachel will look at the chat, and if she doesn't see anybody wanting to pull either any of those items off of the consent list, then we will go ahead and hold the poll and vote. So, Rachel, do you see anybody wanting to pull anything?
Not yet.
Okay, then go ahead and put the poll up.
Heather says she wants to remove new business. She says this doesn't match the previous consent items. I want to remove, quote, new business.
There is no new business, so there's nothing to pull.
Okay.
Nobody brought up any new business. So go ahead and hold the poll, please.
Okay.
So it looks like we are 45 in favor and 1 against. So it's 98% positive. So thank you very much for voting, and we will move along to the next item. Okay, if you have not been to a Canyon Dems meeting before, or if you've signed up as a new member, we would like to hear from you if you would be willing to say a few words about who you are and why you joined us. You can raise your hand or put a note in the chat. There's if you go to participants, there's a little blue hand you can use, or you can just kind of wave your arms and maybe we'll be able to see you in the picture. So is there anybody in the chat yet, Rachel, who wanted to introduce themselves?
Yeah, we're going to hear from Anastasia Search.
Great. Go ahead, Anastasia.
Hi there. I go by Tasia for everyday use, and I'm really happy to have joined your group and have met some of you last night at the Drinking Liberally dinner.
Oh, yes.
Really grateful to have you guys because last year was a nightmare and I have never been a political person before. Although I voted, I've never gotten involved or had it affect me so much. So I'm glad to have like-minded people to share with.
Great. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yay. Anybody else? Okay. If no other victims, we'll move on to the next item. So we're going to do our committee reports. And the first one is from Janet Henry. So Janet, go ahead.
Good evening. I'm glad to see everyone here. Believe it or not, we're actually starting to interview and talk with potential candidates. And one that we have started to speak with is Joe Kerr, and he is running for the supervisor for the 5th district, and that would be Lisa Bartlett's position, and she will be termed out. But I want to just a little caveat here because previously she had put forward an attempt to get rid of term limits, and they didn't go anywhere. But you never know what they might have up their sleeve. So we are going to, as an executive board, we're going to talk with him at our next meeting, and then we hope to bring him to our general meeting very soon. And then we hope to have other candidates as we move along because a little over a year, right? We'll be getting ready to vote and do all that kind of fun stuff. So keep your ears and eyes open. If anybody kind of crosses your mind, you have my address and you can get a hold of me as well. So there we go.
And we're, of course, looking for candidates in all the city councils and the water boards. I don't know about school district, but if you hear of anybody who's interested in running, get a hold of Janet and let her know.
Yes, actually one that is in Capo District. There's a slice of Mission Viejo that is their district number 7. So that is one that we will begin to look for somebody. So if you know anybody that lives in that particular area, District 7 for Capo School Board. This is one of many. We'll be bringing others to you as well. Thank you.
Okay, so Anne is going to talk about outreach.
Hi. We have set up a date or a group of dates in July. 2 years ago, we did a blood drive at Saddleback Hospital as part of our community outreach, and it was very successful. So if you're planning on giving blood, just hold off until July, and then you can go in and do it at Saddleback Hospital and get credit for our club, give our club a little visibility. You can wear our new t-shirts that we're going to be selling and take your picture, put it on our Facebook page. And so we're doing some good and getting some press at the same time.
Thank
So
you.
that's number one. Next slide.
There you go.
Okay, so there's a lot going on in housing everywhere. The first biggie is Laguna Hills Mall. Next Tuesday, a week from today, the Merlor and Gear, who was the people who bought all the land where the old Laguna Hills Mall used to be, is going to be presenting their plan for approval to the Laguna Hills City Council. We would like, we want to have them all. We're not against that. What we're asking for is that we would like to have them include more very low and low income housing there. So the people that they're hiring to work in their restaurants, to work in the hotel, to work in the shops can actually afford, have a place to afford to live right by where they live, where they work. So notice there is a change of venue. It is not going to be at the city center. It is going to be at the community center at 25555 Alicia Parkway. So you can bring a sign, you can speak, and I advise you maybe to come about 6:30 because if you're going to speak, you're going to have to sign in and you have to fill out a little card saying you're going to speak. And if you want to hold your sign, it's good to have it up there as other people are coming in. We sent out a newsletter on Monday, I believe, and it had a link to a whole list of things about this. And on one of those links was important sign messages. We're trying to keep it positive. We're trying to keep it upbeat. We don't want to be negative. We don't want to, make people upset about this. We want them to realize this is something we're supporting. We just would like more of this particular land devoted to housing that is actually affordable for people living in the area. So, and this, I don't have a slide for this because it just came up like at 5 o'clock this afternoon, but also, we also have a group that is concentrating on housing in Mission Viejo. And they're presently doing their housing element, which is required by law that they do every year. And it addresses how much housing they're building in the next 8 years. And so I am looking for people who live in Mission Viejo, who have an interest in housing, who would really be interested in maybe working with us, to contact me, Ann Owens at cox.net, and I can talk to you about this. If you feel like you do not have a background, I can direct you to some places where you can get some little basic training classes on what, this whole issue is about, to give you some background. Because the more people we have, the less work it is for everybody, to be honest with you. If you can divide things up into little pieces, then it's not overwhelming for anyone. So I see a whole bunch of questions coming up here. And one of them is, Kathy, if we want to speak, do we have to sign it beforehand? No.
And I don't know if we have a time for a
Time
lot
for
of
that. Okay.
discussion
Yeah.
right now.
I'll go in and answer them.
Yeah, that would
Okay.
be great.
All right. So that's my plea for housing.
Okay, it's a great plea, and maybe the folks in the Mission Viejo focus group would be willing to help too.
Well, we're working on them.
Good, good. Okay. Judy, do you want to talk about the field team?
Okay. For some of you who are new and you may not be sure what the field team does, we are responsible for contacting voters. And we have a couple of ways of doing that. It's been sort of a challenge during the pandemic. We have put into gear a pilot program, and we have a committee of people who speak English and Spanish, and they are calling households in Lake Forest. The purpose of the calls is to just check on these folks, see how they're doing. There may be people in the household who haven't registered to vote. So obviously we're really interested in getting those folks on board and just letting more people know about what Canyon Democrats do and how they can help the community. We've had one orientation meeting and folks have started on those calls. We're going to have a second orientation meeting tomorrow for interested people. So if you are a Spanish speaker and would be interested in helping out with calls, you can contact me at fielddirector@canyondems.org. The next project that we are involved in is our postcard program, and we're going to be wrapping that up probably the end of this month. We have reached approximately, I would say, 3,400 voters. And the postcards are thanking people for voting in the November election. And once again, you can see the front of the card there. It's letting them know about our meetings and how they can contact us. And this has been, Sarah Burt is in charge of this program, and she's been doing a great job. The third thing we're doing, and I'm going to let the fundraising really focus on that, but we are going to start up voter registration. Yay! But we are going to be doing it as a coordinated effort with fundraising. And so I will let those lovely ladies talk to you about that.
Yeah, and voter registration is really important, very important. Okay, so fundraising, Marty.
There. Yes, like this is a perfect segue. Like she said, we're doing a pop-up actually on Saturday, this Saturday, from 9 to 3.
Okay.
And we have a place to sign up on our website where you can sign up to be a volunteer. You can either volunteer to help with the field team or help to sell our lovely merchandise. There's some special Earth Day themed and Mother's Day themed items. So even if you don't want to take a shift, come on by and spend a couple of bucks. It's all going toward supporting Canyon Dems and our outreach. Then the other slide that was up, we're doing a beer tasting.
Marty, wait a minute. Yes. Marty, the pop-up, yes, if you're new to the club, is out on Marguerite Parkway. Just before Santa Margarita. It's near a Taco Bell. So if that's the location that we've used in the past. So we'd really love you to come by and at least wave and honk and make everybody feel good about support from the community. So that would be really good.
We've also got some signs too about Earth Day and about, no hate and stuff. And so if you want to come and just hang out for a little while and hold a sign up and wave to people and cheer, we need cheerleaders too. So.
Yeah, good.
Then our next,
be fun.
Yeah, it will be fun. It's always fun to do the pop-ups. again, from 9 to 3 on Saturday, this coming Saturday, the 24th. We're also, our next fundraising event is a virtual craft beer tasting event. That'll be May 1st. It's IPA on the 1st of May. We have a selection of 5 different beers from a boutique beer brewing company in Oregon, I think. And it's $50 for the event. You can share with as many people as you want to. And once you sign up, we'll give you information about how we're going to do the pickup. The beer has to be kept cold. So we're going to do a central location like we've done before for picking up the beer. I also want to thank our wine tasters. We raised $650 on our last wine tasting event. That was really wonderful. And so we're going to do another one halfway between Independence Day and Bastille Day. So it'll be July 10th, called Red, White, and Bleu. We're going to focus on French wines. I also want to thank all of our sustaining donors. This is a program where those of you who are able to give a little bit extra a month or a little bit extra in a single check, just add to the money beyond what you've paid for your dues. So far this year, we have 46 donors, and that program has raised $3,495 as of the beginning of this month.
Yay.
And then we're also hoping to have a picnic in September. Now that the Murray Center is opening, hopefully we'll be able to do that. So watch this space for more details. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing really quick about the beer tasting.
Yes, please, Laura.
It's going to be similar to the wine tasting. So we're going to have a guest speaker who's an expert, and it's somebody that's near and dear to our club. It's Mike and Patty Ebell's son.
So
and
it's done by Zoom.
Yeah, and
They
it's by
pick up
Zoom.
the beer, and then we have
Yeah.
a Zoom party.
So it's a lot of fun, and I'm not a big beer drinker, but I wouldn't miss it. I wasn't a big wine drinker either, but I had a great time at the wine thing. So please join us. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Judy,
And
you had something to add? Judy?
Yes, thank you. We've filled all of the voter registration spots at the pop-up on Saturday, but we are always looking for new people. Please, please, please look for other opportunities. And if you're interested and just need a little bit of a review, or you've never done voter registration before, I will be there from 1 to 3, and I am more than happy to train you in voter registration. It's really easy.
And this is Louise. I will be there in the morning, starting at what time? 9?
9.
Yeah, and I've done a little bit of voter registration in my day. And we have really good training materials there. So just come by and we can chat and show you how it happens. And then you'll be all set for the next time. Thanks, Judy.
So you can either learn about voter reg, or you can come and be a cheerleader and hold a sign, or you can come and help us with the sales.
And visit. You can visit, which will be fun.
Just hang out with us on Saturday.
Yeah, it'll be great. Okay, so now we're going to go to political action with Andy Alexander.
Hi, everyone. The Canyon Dems have started a new program. It's our internship program, and we're looking for students. So if any of you know of a high school or even a college student that would be interested in participating in our internship program, it's on the website, and they can find out all the information about it on the website and also fill out an application. And thank you. I'm trying to keep it short. We want time.
No, you're fine. We have time, Andy. Don't worry.
Okay, so that's pretty much students they can't really get. Okay, let's go on to
that's all right. They can get credit for voter
registration and may possibly
service credits.
Yeah, and it looks great on their college application and even on a resume too. If they're working their way through college, they need that resume too, don't they? So we'd really like to get an intern. Thank you.
And you want to talk about the focus groups?
Yes, I do.
I thought
We
so.
have focus groups for all the cities and even the unincorporated areas that are in our club's jurisdiction. These are so important and so vital to our club because they get everyone involved in their local politics. And we are able to find candidates to run for city councils and other offices by creating these focus groups. So, and also we do other wonderful things. When there's a call to action, we send letters, or when we can go in person and do public comments, we'll do that. And we have sent emails to council members, and we've made some progress in some areas. In some areas, such as affordable housing in some cities, and also in community choice energy, there's an absolute awareness of that where there had not been one before. So we do vital things in the focus group. So I urge everyone to contact the person on the list on the slide that is in your city. And for the unincorporated areas, what is that email for the unincorporated? It's
I'm sorry, I left it off. It's
yes,
very, it's
at
very
canyondems.org.
unink at
I'll put it in the chat. Unink at canyondems.org.
Right. So please get in touch with us. We would love to have you join us. My group, it took me a year to get 20 people in. I'm in Lake Forest. It's a very small group. 20 people, and I am now up to 35. I am so happy. And we're active for the most part, and that's the other thing. There are different levels of participation. So if you don't feel comfortable doing one thing, you have the opportunity to do other things, or just participate by listening and becoming educated and informed about the issues that are facing our cities. So please join us. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Annie, I'm going to let you talk about the Friday event and then introduce our speaker. And I think we're
a little bit ahead of schedule. Our speaker hasn't arrived yet.
But that's okay. Talk about Friday.
Okay. I'm going
Please
to talk
about Friday.
I will talk about Friday.
Okay.
Friday is a special day for us because we're going to be hosting, it's a virtual event in honor of Earth Day. And we're going to have speakers that address elimination of toxic, I'm sorry, Rachel, you'll look at the waiting room. Anyway, we're going to have speakers talk about the elimination of toxic chemicals and organic landscaping in our local communities. We'll also have a speaker who's going to talk about plastics, pollution, and recycling. And we'll have breakout rooms to discuss those topics. And you can register for this event on our website, but it's kind of a really special day to honor Earth Day, and we're really looking forward to it. Our program in May is going to be on political extremism, domestic terrorism, and hate crimes. Our speaker is Dr. Peter Simi. He's a Chapman University professor of sociology. Dr. Simi has studied extremist groups and violence for over 20 years. His field work has taken him inside white supremacist groups across the United States. He's been featured in several major media outlets, including appearances on CNN, Larry King Now, and Good Morning America. For this particular presentation, we're asking that you submit questions in advance. And you can submit them to programs@canyondems.org. Tonight, I was just about ready to get on to the introduction of tonight's speaker, Louise, but she isn't here yet.
Well, you can go ahead and introduce her, or do you want to take a
I'd rather, since it's really early, she didn't even say that we weren't even expecting her for 5 more minutes.
Okay.
And I'd rather hear her